Hello, good evening. Hello. How's everybody doing? Good evening. Welcome to the Conscious Creators Toolbox. It's Thursday, July the 28th. The last Thursday in July. That's a full moon. It's a new moon tonight. Yeah. July the 28th, 2022, and it's Thursday, 7 o'clock. It's time for the Conscious Creators Toolbox. We're here every Thursday evening at 7, for about 45 minutes to an hour to introduce you or remind you of who you are and whose you are and what you are. And also to take a look at your creative abilities, your creative powers, your, what you use to manifest and create your wonderful, wonderful life. So welcome to the Conscious Creators Toolbox. We're going to get started in just a bit. We're talking about energy, just in general, and your personal energy, your personal power, we're talking about energy. We got a series going for the next few weeks. I think I'm looking probably about next 3 to 4 weeks. We'll be talking about energy and how we use energy, to manifest and create and co-create our realities, our lives, and the things that we want, the things that we desire, things that we dream of. So welcome to this session of the Conscious Creators Toolbox. My name is Jean Aaron, and I'm a life coach. I'm a spiritual teacher, yeah, basically that, spiritual coach, I guess, as well. Come on, like I said, I come out on Thursday evenings every week to do a quick little session on your creative abilities and your creative powers, remind you who you are, what you are, and whose you are. And of course, you probably know, because I probably said it enough, but I can't get tired of saying it. You are a created being, created in the image of your maker, created by your maker, in the image of your creator, your maker, your source, your God, your divine father. However you identify your higher power, that the God of your life, that God, your source, your creator, your sponsor, your divine. I call him Father. I call him divine. I call him universe. I call my God source. I have many names for my creator. Yes, he's my It's my creator as well. And I want to say he, but I don't know. It's a being. I don't know what gender it might be, but it's my God. And I'm a chip off the old block. I'm actually an extension of my creator, and so are you. And I can do. We're endowed. We're made out of the same stuff that creators made out of. Our source is made from. So we can do. We can have, and we can be whatever our source can do. Whatever God can do. Whatever creator can do. We have that same power. We inherited that same power, that same ability, that same energy, if you would. We inherited it, and it's ours, and we can do what source can do, what God can do, what divine can do, what our Father can do. We can also do, because Father, source, God, creator, universe withholds absolutely nothing from us. We are his, and he is ours. And we, just like our earthly parents, we inherit, we have an inheritance or a legacy left by our earthly parents. Well, with our heavenly source, with our creator, the source of our beingness, we have those same, we're endowed and have those same inheritances as one of his, that's belonging to our source. We can do, we can have, we can be all that source can do and be. I remind folk that I coach and I talk to, and I mentor and teach. I remind them that we're only limited and restricted by what we believe, what our belief is about our Father, about our source, about our creator. And as long as you realize that your creator and your source is all powerful, have all power within his grasp, it's available to source. Everything that is available, and he can do all things. God can do all things but fail, they say. God can do all things but lie or tell us a falsehood. God can do all things. So we can do those same things. We just have to understand and know who and what and whose we are, and understand that we are unlimited created beings, created by our source with the same the same stuff and with the same powers that our source can is that's available to source. So again, welcome to the Conscious Creators Toolbox. We're going to be here for about 30 to 45 minutes. It's going to be a little shorter tonight because it is a new moon, and we've got the moon room. I'm going to start the moon room tonight, I believe about 8:30 or so. So we're going to probably wrap up a little bit early tonight. I think tonight's lesson is on you are the master of your personal energy. We're probably going to split it into 2 sessions because it may be a little bit long, because I want to kind of rehash a little bit of what we talked about last week, and then move forward with talking a little bit more about what I got planned for tonight. So we're going to probably split it in half. I'm going to do half of it tonight, and then we'll do part 2 of you are the master of your personal energy. Next week we'll finish it up on next Thursday night. I always like to start with Einstein's quote, and I want to remind you, everything is energy, and that is all there is to it. Everything is energy. There is nothing that is not energy, and that includes you, and that includes everything in your world. Everything about you is energy, and like Einstein said, and there's nothing else about it. I mean, that's all there is to it. There is nothing else that you can, there's no debate here, none whatsoever. So again, we're going to be talking about energy. We started last week talking about it, and we're going to talk a little bit more about it over the next 3 to 4 sessions. So join me, make sure you join me and tell folk about it. I think last week I shared a video called You Are Energy. It's about a 5-minute little meditation that I posted last week, and I posted it again today because I wanted to encourage you to listen to it, to hear it, and to hear it over and over and over again until it resonated with you, or till you totally agreed with it, and it kind of dropped down into your subconscious, so that you could live by that fact that you are energy. And she talks about, she kind of breaks it down really, really just plain and simple to you in about 5 minutes. I like to use it for meditation, because she does lead you into a meditation right at the end for about a couple of minutes of meditation. It is a great way to do a meditation, a daily meditation, kind of practice meditation in the morning, in the afternoon, or at night. You kind of do that. I like to still encourage you to listen to that, because it is she has a very powerful message. And if once you get that sunk into your subconscious and you totally agree with it without any hesitation, and know without a doubt who you are and what you are and whose you are, then your doors will open up to you, and all those things that you dream about, that seemed so far-fetched and so far out of reach, you're going to find yourself manifesting them and bringing them into your life. I am going to say hello to Norma. Hello, Norma. I can't wait to see you guys at the end of the month, to see the baby. Next month, I think, in August, to see the baby party. Yes, I'm looking forward to that. Good to see you. Say hello to all my family up there. I miss you guys, and I'm so looking forward to seeing you. Okay, back to tonight. The title, the session tonight is You Are the Master of Your Personal Energy. And you are. A member of our Team Conscious Creators Facebook group posted this quote this morning. And I thought, I just wanted to hold on to it because it was so very true. It was so, it really, it stung me a little bit. But it's so appropriate for this, the session. And I'm going to read it to you. The quote, he actually shared a quote by someone else, and someone else, the other person made this, I think it was Seth. The energy that is within you is inconceivable to you. End quote. I'm going to say that again. The energy that is within you is inconceivable to you. And Ron Card, who was the member that actually shared this quote, he went on to express his interpretation of what Seth was saying here, and adding his opinion as well. And I want to read what he said about that statement about inconceivable, being inconceivable energy that's within ourselves. And I'm going to say a little bit. I don't know if I totally disagree with him, but it kind of stung a bit. This is what Ron said in response to that. But if you only knew, no, but if you only were consciously aware of the near unlimited potential and energy available to you, the energy that already exists within you, you might then operate differently in your reality creation and in your attraction of selective future probable realities, realities that are not quite here yet, but they're out there and you can come in and you can get manifest and create them, that's waiting for you, that you can see, and all you need to do is activate and manifest them and materialize them and bring them to you. If you were consciously aware of these energy that's within yourself, then you could do many splendid things. You could manifest all kinds of things. You have but to discover that which you already have. You already have this within you. You already possess the energy of your master, of your maker, of your creator, of your father, of God. It's already yours. It's totally available to you. Again, your God withholds nothing from you. Everything that God is able to do, that God is, you are. Because you are actually an extension. You're an extension of your source. You're an extension of your creator. You're an extension of your father. So of course, you have inherited all that father and your source and creator has. We just need to be aware. We just need to be consciously aware of who, what, and whose we are. And Ron had the right idea here. I mean, I won't disagree with either one of these men because a lot of times we are unaware of how powerful we are. If we really, really knew how powerful we are, I don't know, sometimes it might scare you because there's so much power and so much energy that's just there. It's yours. It's in you. It's part of you. It's who you are. And again, none of it is withheld from you. Inherited, it's yours. And you just you have to be aware of it and recognize it and acknowledge it and accept it and believe that it is yours. And you can do all things and anything. I don't, both these gentlemen, both Ron and Seth, and Seth is actually an ancestor now because he's gone. He's a forefather. But Ron Card is very much alive, and I highly respect both of them, and in their expression and the things that they share in regards to who we are, what we are, and whose we are, about our creative abilities, our creative powers, our energy. I totally agree with them. I don't dispute them at all. I appreciate what they share. I appreciate their understanding and their perspective of who we are and how and basically I will say in both these men, just looking at their lives and looking at who and what and how they live their lives, and what they manifest for themselves in their lives, they prove it over and over and over that they know that they are energy. They know that they are endowed and inherited with all types of just power, creative abilities. So I love hearing people express their beliefs and their perspective and their opinions. It is sad when we think about who we are and that we don't really know it and we don't really appreciate it and we don't really act on it. Yeah, it's just become aware. We're awakened. And I said, I kind of said this morning, I said, I'm aware. Little old me, I'm awakened and I'm aware and I'm conscious, and I know. I may not have the, I'm still discovering just how powerful we are. So you do the same. You do the same. And that's the purpose of this session, these sessions that we're doing in the next few weeks, is to make you very, very aware, keenly aware of of the powers that you inherited, that belongs to you, that's accessible to you, available to you. Yet all you need to do is believe. So if you were consciously aware, and you are conscious and you're aware and you're awakened, but I want to sharpen that awareness through these sessions that's coming up, so that you will be aware of your, as one would say, near unlimited potential. Near unlimited potential and the energy that's available to you. And then my dear friends, how, just what a great life you can manifest. What a wonderful life you can, what a wonderful reality, what all the dreams that you could make come true and happen to you in your life. So my goal last week was to, again, help you sharpen your awareness, to, to just bring you some clarity about the reality of the energy that that's available to us, that's accessible to us, that's at our disposal. And then we can use that energy to have wonderful lives, have healthy bodies, healthy relationships, healthy just networks, just a healthy life, just a healthy lifestyle. And anything that we want and anything we desire, we can use that energy to create it and to bring it into our experience. And that's pretty awesome, because we are the captains of our ships. We manifest what we experience. Absolutely everything you experience today, yesterday, last week, you manifested it. You brought it into your life. And the awesome thing is, the more aware and the more you understand that, the more deliberate and on purpose you will be when you manifest. You won't be like an Urkel and you make it all, making all these mistakes, or because basically you're manifesting and you're creating, because that's what you do. You cannot not create. You're going to create, no matter whether you do it on purpose with intention and you deliberately know what you got, what you're bringing into your life, or you just do it by happenstance. You just do it just because that's what you are. You are a creator. That's what you do. So being aware of that, and being aware of how to use that awesome power of creativity, of creating and manifesting and bringing into your life what you want and what you desire, makes you a very powerful being, a very powerful master, captain of your ship, because this is your life. This is your life. Now, if you recall last week, I gave you a definition, and then we talked about power in general, and we also talked about personal power. Tonight we're going to kind of hone in on some personal power, but just kind of give you a refresher a little bit last week, which I gave you a simple definition of energy. We talked about just energy in general, and just a simple definition that would fit any type of energy, no matter if it's solar energy or motion energy or radiant energy, hydro energy, thermal energy, nuclear energy, whatever kind of energy. Basic definition of energy, not scientific or anything, just plain basic, is the capacity for doing work or getting something done, getting something started, getting it going, getting it completed. It's the capacity to do. That's basically what energy does. Energy gives you, it is the capacity to do, to get it done, to do something, to work, whether it's work or play or sleep or whatever it is you do. In action, putting it in action requires energy. All right. Even in your plain old thinking, even in your thoughts, and even in your dreams, or even in your anything that you can imagine doing, it requires energy. Holding up this pen requires some amount of energy for me to do that. Sitting up straight, walking, getting in bed at night, going to sleep. Sleeping requires energy. If I didn't have the energy to sleep, I would not sleep. If I didn't have the energy to rise in the morning and wake up and get started, it takes energy. Absolutely everything that we do, or that's done or performed, or any act, any kind of action, requires energy. So it's basically the capacity to work or to get something done. And remember, we also talked about that energy was forever. You can't destroy it. It changes forms. That's all it does. It goes from one form to another form. It goes from and the basic forms are solid, like this pen is solid, or this paper is solid. The laptop that I'm looking at. Everything that we can touch and feel, and it's solid in some sort. And then there's gas. That's that air. Air is energy, but it's not something that's we can touch. It's not solid. It's air or gas. And then there's liquid, water and fluids. Anything liquid is considered a form of energy. And energy goes from one form to another. You have an ice cube. Ice cube is solid. Once it melts, it turns to liquid. You put it on the stove and boil it, it's going to turn to steam. So again, you know, that ice cube can be of three different forms in just a matter of few minutes, right? So there's three different forms of it. It can't be destroyed. It only changes. So the life that's in you. Now our bodies, it's energy, but the life within us, it is a different form of energy. And again, you know, we wear this bodysuit, or we wear this I call it the skin tent, while we're here in the third dimension on Earth and in the physical. So we house ourselves in this, but there's a life in us. That's another form of energy that motivates and gives our body mobility and life. All right. And once the body is, you know, dies, decays, and goes back to the soil, it falls into another form of energy, if you would. And our life force, that life force of us, it goes on, and I don't know, to some other form, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, it's just everything is energy. And I just want that to be perfectly clear to you, but it's in different forms, and it's never destroyed. You can't destroy it. You can't create it. You can't create it because everything is already here. You can't create it. You can manage it. You can manipulate it. You can help change it from one form to another, but you can never destroy it. You can burn the house down. It's going to turn to ash and smoke and dust or whatever. It's just another form of energy. Cannot destroy it. Everything that's here is here. It's going to be here, you know? So we talked about that. And we also talked about the different types of energy, you know, and I rattled off a few. We've got solar energy, nuclear energy, thermal energy, hydro energy, motion energy. I could go on and on and on, but I think you get the idea. We kind of talked a little bit about that last week. And we also talked about our personal energy. We talked about, again, energy in general, the general stuff, but then we broke it down and we start looking at ourselves as human beings, as how about our own unique energy. And I call it personal energy or personal power because it is ours and it's uniquely ours. I have mine, you have yours. Everybody have access to their personal power and their personal energy. And it is personal energy is actually it kind of refers to a collective. Well, it's collectively parts of oneself, and usually refers to collectively to those parts of ourselves. And some of it is subtle. Some of it may not be something that's physical. And then, of course, we do have our physical bodies, our physical self, and that's something that's tangible and that we can see and touch and feel. But we also have subtle energies that you can't see, and that would be like our senses, our aliveness, that part of us that gives us life, that life force in us, our emotions, our feelings, our thoughts, our memories. Those are part of us, part of our energy, personal energy and personal power that we have access and we use to navigate and communicate and just be a part of this beautiful world that we live in. So we talked about that. So tonight what I want to do is I want to go a little, and we talked about the four dimensions of our personal power, and that's we're going to really kind of hone in on those dimensions, and those four dimensions was of course our physical power, our physical energy or physical power, physical energy, our emotional energy, that's and we talked about our mental energy, as well as our spiritual energy, and all four of those energies work together. They all do their thing. You know, we have our feelings, and we have our mental capacities and our thought processes and things like that. We have our physical self and we have our spiritual self. We have all of those energies and all of those powers that's packed into, I call it our energy packs. That's our energy bag, our bag of energy. And those are the dimensions of our personal energy power. And tonight what I want to do is kind of talk a little bit more about what they are and how we use them, remind you how we use them. And I want to challenge you to kind of be mindful and think about it. Think about these four dimensions. Your physical energy, your emotional energy, your mental energy, as well as your spiritual energy. So we're gonna look at that. So tonight, and hopefully, just after understanding that, well, I guess I really want to kind of remind you too that you need these four powers. You need these four distinct dimensions of your personal power in order to manifest. All four of them is required. All four of them put together, they're all required in order for you to manifest your life. You use them, whether you realize that you use them or not. And hopefully after we finish the series, you're going to realize how you use them. And you're going to be more, I have a better understanding, a little bit more clarity, so you can use them intentionally and use them on purpose to manifest what you want, to create what you want in your life, rather than settling for, oops, I did that, or I didn't mean to create that and have to do over. And just knowing. Knowledge is power. Understanding is power. So Hi, Greg. So tonight, what I want to do is remind you that you use your personal energy, your personal power, basically is your creativity. That is your basic creativity. Those powers, your spiritual, your emotional, your mental, and your physical. All right, either one of those that's missing will kind of put a little damper, or put a little block, or put a little kind of interfere with your powers and abilities to manifest and create. So you need all four of those. Okay. So I want to give you a quote, and I want you to keep this in mind as we do the sessions, and it's something that you kind of remind yourself of periodically and as often as you can. And it goes something like this. Everything about you is energy, and you're going to hear me say that tons of times over the next few weeks. So everything about you is energy. It begins with your thoughts. Your emotions amplifies it, and your actions increase the momentum. All right. Now, one little piece, it doesn't really doesn't touch on your spiritual energy, but I'm going to add this to it. But it all starts with, I like this here, it starts with a thought, but I like to say this. In order for it to even happen, you got to believe it. And that's where the spirit comes in. You will never manifest, you will never create anything that you don't believe in. If you don't believe it, you're not going to create it. It's not going to happen for you. It's just going to be so far off the radar that it's not going to happen for you. So it starts with the spirit. And I know they've had the spirit as number 4, but for me, I think the spirit should be number 1, because again, if you don't believe it, the thought is going to be wobbly, okay? The emotion's going to be and you probably ain't going to do it because you just don't believe that you can, or that you're worthy of it, or whatever. You just don't believe it. If you don't believe it, it ain't going to happen. So it starts the foremost is you got to believe. Then you got a thought. You start that energy flow, with a thought. Then you create, or you generate some emotions in there. It amplifies it. All the energy is kind of moving around, and it's kind of, like getting nervous and magnetizing itself and getting ready to do something. Give me an order. Let me see, what are we doing here? And then you put it to work with you. You put it to work with that physical part of you, that energy. That actually you increase the momentum with your activity and your behavior. So hold on to that. I think I posted it on the Facebook page, on the Facebook page over the past couple of days, and if I didn't, I will post it again. So let me ask you. Here's a good question to ask. Start this off with. How often have you heard or have been told not to waste your time? Don't waste time. Get busy, do something. Don't waste time. Well, energy even more than time. It's what we need to achieve our goals. All right. We can have all the time in the world. We can have, the next month at our disposal. But if we do not manage our energy, we can sit there and just twiddle our thumbs. We can sit there and have not a thought about or care or worry or whatever about whatever it is. It requires energy in order to even put it into action, to even get it going. All right. So I'm going to say that time, time is going to be there. But if you don't have the energy to go with it, time is absolutely of no use to you. All right. So I'm going to say, don't waste time. I will agree with that. Don't waste time if you best you can. Use it wisely. Use it wisely. It's time. Tomorrow's not promised to you. We know that. So if you get the moment, seize the day. Seize the day. That's the thing. But remember that you have energy, and that energy is precious energy. I'm quick to tell you, I don't like wasting my precious energy. I'm like, hey, if I got to do it over again and you're going to make me do it over again, I'm not comfortable with that, because my energy's precious. My energy's valuable to me. It's what I use to manifest and create the life that I have, to keep myself healthy and going, to keep things pulled together, So I need my energy, and you do too. So we're gonna look at how we use that energy, and I think probably gonna spend at least a session. We're gonna talk about how we protect our energy, how we actually protect it, because we should protect our energy. Okay, we talk a little bit about it tonight, but mostly I'm gonna probably set aside a whole session to talk about your precious energy, and I probably call it that, your precious energy. All right. So your physical energy. We're gonna talk about these dimensions. The first one we're going to just talk about is we're going to talk about our physical energy. And I think when we think about our energy, the first thing we think about probably is our physical energy. And our physical energy basically is the energy that helps us produce a healthy life living, healthy lifestyle. And in order to do that, it requires a few things. It requires at least three things, maybe four, but at least three. It requires a good nutritional diet. We got to eat well. It requires that we exercise. We move, and we move our bodies. We move this physical machine and get some exercise and move it around and get it working and moving. And it requires that we rest. Right? That we get some rest. That we rest and get some sleep, proper sleep. So those three things are definitely a must in order to maintain your physical energy, your machine, your body, your suit, your earth suit. It requires that you do those things. You maintain a healthy diet, eat the right foods, make sure you eat enough foods, the right combination of them for your type, your blood type, your body type, your physical type, and for the energy that you're trying to dispense. If you're getting ready to go get up in the morning and do a 5K run or whatever, then you're not going to get up and drink a nice glass of orange juice and get dressed and head out. No, because you're not going to make it on probably half of the K. Okay, so you need to make sure that you eat properly, so that whatever it is you're going to ask your body to do, that physical energy to expend itself for, that you're prepared for it. Okay. Sunshine, I didn't leave that. I forgot to mention that. You definitely need to expose yourself to some good sunshine and some good fresh air. That's all part of that diet, that nutritional diet, because you need the sunshine, because it activates some of those enzymes and some of those minerals, and it just energizes you. That's what the sun does. Sun is a life giver. So you need the sun, you need the air. Of course, you need nice fresh air. You need rest, and you need exercise to maintain your energy level, for your physical energy. All right. Now, there are the things that happen, and we're gonna save this for another time. But there are things that steal your energy, steal your physical energy. There are things that you do and I'm going to say that rob you of your physical energy, and you probably know some of those things. Some of those things that rob your energy, maybe not eating the right foods, maybe not getting the proper amount of rest, maybe not getting outside and getting the sunshine when you want. I know that a lot of times we don't we don't get out and about, and we don't get out in nature, and we don't, we don't see the sun, then, that has an effect on us, on that energy level. And you will, I mean, just try it out sometime. Take a week and just, just increase the amount of time that you spend outside in the sun and see how much better your energy levels tend to be when that happens. When you, hi, Corone, how you doing? So when you do those things. So your physical energy, all of these they are your responsibility to maintain, right? Might be God-given, but you have it's within your power. It's your responsibility to maintain them, to manage them, and to protect them, and to make sure that, that you got the proper amount of energy, all right? I was talking to a friend of mine a couple of weeks ago about, speaking of physical energy, he plays tennis. He plays in tennis tournaments, and he's in his 30s, mid 30s, and he was playing with a gentleman that was on his team. On the team, it was a gentleman on his team that was, I believe he was about 55 or 60, and he was in his early 60s, I think. And he said he was in really good shape, and he was really excited when they first started the season, and he was just all on it and everything. And then all of a sudden, he kind of started getting relaxed, and he looked like his energy was kind of ebbing, and he was dwindling down. He wasn't as energetic as he was the first part of the season, and he said everybody was kind of getting aggravated because he was a sharp player up front. At the start, he teetered out. And he said, what was going on? And I was listening to him, and I thought, maybe he's just not getting the rest that he needs. And he says, no, I don't know what it is. He says, but I said, well, just ask him. Ask him what's different. I just mention it. Maybe he's not even aware that he's, slowing the team down, and he's about to get kicked off. So, but help him. So he did. He said, and he told me later, he says, I asked, whatever his name was, I asked him what was going on, and he told me, he says, I don't know, man. He said, I thought maybe I was getting tired. He says, and he asked me, he said, well, what do you do? What do you do the night before? Do you get your rest? And he says, well, usually we have a poker game on the night before, we play, and I go out with the guys, and, we're playing, and I have a few drinks, and he says, okay. So we're not taking care of that body. We're not preserving that physical energy that you're going to need, oh man, to run that court with those 25 and 30-year-old kids. Boy, you better leave that bottle alone. You better, change your poker night, get your sleep you need, so that you can have the physical energy you need, so they won't kick you off the team. So I told him, I said, just remind him that he might need to lay off the booze on the night before the match. But anyway, so we're responsible for we're responsible for maintaining that physical energy. All of our energy we're responsible for, but particularly the physical. And I'm going to tell you the thing about the physical energy is that it's our bodies, and this is our life. This is our earth suit. This is what we have to use while we're here in this plane, and we wanted to be in the best shape, and we wanted to last as long as we are alive. We want it to go. We don't want it, we don't want to be sitting here with life still in us and our bodies are worn out because we haven't done the proper physical energy maintenance that we should have done. All right. So again, we're going to talk a little bit more about protecting that energy, and some more hints and helpful hints about how to maintain it. I've got a couple of friends that I'm going to, hopefully Dr. Amber Jade, I'm going to see if we can get her to, if nothing else, just record something for us, or send us some information that will help us in maintaining and managing our energy, right? Physical energy, emotional energy, as well as our, the other energies. All right, let's talk about our emotional energy. And this one is basically about our moods, our whether we're happy or sad, feeling our feelings, how we feel about ourselves and the world around us, and and everything in our world, how we're feeling. Our emotional energy is derived from our emotional state, and it's in our connectedness, not only with our own emotions and our own selves, but how we connect with each other. Now, I think last week I kind of mentioned to you that you heard the word an empath, and it sounds like a magical thing to be. Well, guess what? We all are empaths, all right? Some of us may be a little bit more heightened or a little bit more aware of our empathy, but we all can sense and feel each other's emotional energy. I can, if you walked in this room right now, I promise you that I can look at you, and as soon as you smile, I can tell that things were okay. Now, if it took you a while to smile, I'd be worried a little bit, like, okay, what's going on with her? But as soon as I see you smile, I know that, you know, everything's pretty right with the world, with my friend here. So we can sense that. We can sense it. We can see it, and we can also feel it. Because you could, I mean, if you just check yourself sometimes. If you, even yourself, just if you're, say you're just a little bit down, and you know you're trying to figure out how, you know, maybe something is bothering you and we're down. I promise you, try this. If you just can't seem to pull yourself up, sit down in front of a mirror or get your phone and put the camera on you and smile. Smile at yourself. And then tell yourself it's going to be okay. Tell yourself some soothing things and watch your feelings change. I mean, just feel it, sense it. Now we're a little bit, I'm going to say emotional or feeling, I want to call them dysfunctional sometimes. So we're a little bit disabled in the feelings because we're taught to not feel. We're taught to hide feelings or bury them or get over it or you know, put it aside or get on with it. Let it go. Let it go. That's what, you know, we're taught that very, very early in America, particularly. I'm not sure about other countries, but in America. And I've talked to people in other countries, and some of them yes and some of them no. But I promise you that that was something that they failed us on, all right? Feelings we have them for a reason. That's part of your emotional energy that you need. You need your feelings. And one of the reasons you need your feelings, really, really need it, is because it's part of your intuition. That's what your intuition, that's the expression and the vehicle that your intuition uses is your feelings. And it's important that you feel. It's important that you acknowledge your feelings. It's important that you understand the power of your feelings. And honestly, if you don't have a good grasp on your feelings, your manifestations, your intentional manifestations are going to be in trouble because you need feelings. Feelings is the stuff. It's the stuff that magnetizes, that sets the motion, I call it the glue. I call it the glue or the magnet that draws that energy of everything, pulls everything together so that you can manifest, that you can create. You got to have it. So if you were taught not to feel, and if you run from your feelings or you hide from your feelings or you say, trying to put them on the back burner and deal with them now, let me tell you, let me ask you, let me beg you, don't do that any longer. Going forward from this day on, promise me that you're going to feel. You're going to feel what you feel. And you're going to identify what you feel. One of the things that I practice with with some of my clients when we're talking about manifestation, because feelings are so important in the process, is I want them to start recognizing their feelings, and not only recognizing that they have them, but identifying where in the body that they feel it, because those are messages. That's how our subconscious, and our intuition communicates with us. Is through those feelings and through certain places of the body. I mean, sometimes you notice that you get this tightening in your stomach. Well, you know, that's a feeling, and there's a reason for that, and there's a message in that. So start looking at, and some people clench their teeth. There's a message in that. There's some feelings that are associated with it. Your thought processes have created some feelings, or vice versa. Those feelings, get accustomed to recognizing and identifying your feelings. Don't hide them. Don't run away from them. Don't block them. Don't tell somebody to get over. Don't tell them to grow up and, you know, stop whatever it is you're doing. Feel your feelings, because God created us and gave us feelings for a reason. And I don't think that I don't think that He said, you know, I hide these or run away from these, or, you know, just don't use those. Use them. You need your feelings. It's energy. That's part of your energy. That's part of that emotional energy. And when you're burying it, you're burying some good energy that you could be using. All right. So energy, use it. And remember too, I'll just kind of mention some of the ways that you can waste it besides burying it. You can also use your energy. Well, you can use that emotional energy to help you, to make you feel good, or you can use it and it can make you feel bad. When you start worrying is it's a process, but it creates some feelings and emotions that's going on in you. It changes your moods. Worrying, when you start obsessing about something that happened in the past that you can't do anything about, but you just gotta keep going over it and over and over in your mind about it. That's kind of a waste of energy. It is a waste of energy, because worrying, that negative stuff, is not helping much. Okay, so flip the switch. If you notice yourself gravitating or expressing more negative energy, stop. Maybe find out why you're doing it. But let's flip the switch on that. We want good energy. We want positive energy. We want energy that's going to make us better, make us feel better, make our world and life better, make our relationships better, make things better. All right. So remember, your energy, your emotional energy can be positive, can be good vibrations, good vibrations, or it can be bad and negative vibrations. So when people are in a bad mood, that's negative vibrations. And it's not something that's going to be healthy and positive for your creativity or for you in general. Eventually, the thing about feelings is they do tend, especially the negative ones, they do tend to harden. And they don't harden into a frozen smile. They harden into disease and sicknesses, okay? So let's process it. Process that anger, process that worry, but don't let it continue, because it's not, usually negative stuff is nothing you can do about it anyway. But worry about it. You learn from it, you get the message that it's given you, and keep it moving. All right? So that's our emotional energy. And again, I was gonna just talk about some of the things, and I kind of have these listed, and I kind of wanted to go over. What are some of the ways that we find ourselves, or I find I'm going to call it emotional thieves? What are some of the how do we know what takes away our energy, what takes away our emotional energy, or robs us from our emotional energy? Worry would be some of the things, but well, let me ask you, have you ever felt like, you feel really good, you got the physical energy going, you just feeling, you got the rest, you ate right, you got good, just feeling good physically, but you just feel you feel like you're just dragging, you just don't know what's going on, you just, I feel good, I got a good night's sleep, I got, I ate, my meal, I'm eating okay, got, healthy, heart rate's good, my blood pressure's, everything's fine, but I don't know, something's happening, something's going on. Usually, the first thing, if you know that everything is physically okay, then you really should probably look and see what's going on with you emotionally. What's happening with you emotionally? Or do you need, well, basically you need attention. You need to find out what it is. What is it that how am I feeling? How am I feeling? What am I feeling? That's part of getting in touch and getting in tune with your emotions by examining. If everything is going okay, you got everything going physically, but you still feel like you're dragging, then start looking at where in your body you're having these feelings and start investigating and trying to get to the bottom of it. Don't ignore it. Don't let it go. Figure it out. Find out why it is, why it's there, and do something about it. All right? Do something about it. Because you want to be at the peak of all of your energy levels. You want all of your physical energy available to you. You want all of your emotional feelings and energy available to you. You want You want it to be present and accounted for, and you want to be in control of it. You don't want your feelings to be dragging you down. You want to be in the know about how you feel physically, how you feel emotionally, right? Because this is your ship. That's your body. That's your psyche. Those are your emotions, right? And they do what you direct them to do. They answer to you. You don't answer to them. All those teary nights, all that worrying, that seems obsessing, that's no. You can get a handle on that. You can get a handle on that. And you can flip the switch on that. You are the captain of your ship. You get to manage your everything about you. You get to manage it, which includes every bit of your energy, physical, emotional, spiritual, mental. You get to decide, all right? I'm going to save talking a little bit more about how we use how emotions in our physical play, what role it plays in manifestation. And I'll probably save that for maybe later on in another session. But I kind of want to make sure that you understand the importance of, I think that everybody probably knows that you got to eat and you got to get the rest and you got to exercise. I think you know that. But I really, really, really want to hone in on your feelings and your emotions. Because again, that is something that very young we're taught to disregard our feelings or to put them on the back burner or get over it. But I don't want you to ever tell yourself that. And I don't want you to ever, get down on yourself because of the way you feel or the mood that you're in. It's part of who you are, and it's another tool in your toolbox for you to have the life that you want and that you desire. All right, you don't have to be depressed. You don't have to be worried. You don't have to be angry. You don't have to be fearful. You don't have to be in those bad moods. You don't have to have be negative. You don't have to have that negative energy going on. You can decide what type of energy you want to have this morning. You wake up in the morning, you can decide. You can decide. You can look in the mirror and you can say, we're going to have a good day. We're going to be happy today. We're going to work through stress points that come up. We're going to work through those buttons that people push. We're going to maintain a happy, joyful attitude today. And every time something comes up that want to flip the switch back to the other way, you can put a hold on it. You can put a stop on it. And then when you find yourself caught in your own train of thought or train of mood or the feelings, and you're beginning to wonder where they come from, don't shut the door on them. Say, okay, maybe it may not be a perfect time because you're sitting in your office and you make sure that you make a note that when you get lunchtime, you sit down and you figure out, why is my stomach so tight? Why am I clenching my teeth? Why is my head hurting? Because I'm can't hardly swallow. Figure it out and get to the bottom of it and find out what's happening. Why are you feeling this way? What is going on? What am I thinking? And usually what I always tell my clients too is, what are you thinking about? What are you thinking about when you start sensing these feelings? Because usually a thought is associated with a feeling some way or another. A thought is. So I stop. What are you thinking about? Where are you feeling it in your body? And then what is the message? What is it trying to tell you? What is it that you need to do to fix it? To make it right, to make it better, to make it positive, to make it something that's going to benefit you rather than, cause me ulcers or cause my head to hurt or, cause me to snap at the next person that kind of looks my way, So I want emotions to be on the top of your list over the next week or so. Emotions. You need them. God gave them to you for a purpose. And I want you to acknowledge them. I don't want you to bury them. I want you to know how to use your feelings and how to take care of your feelings and how to change your feelings if that's what you need to do. All right. So again, I want to save how you talk a little bit more about what drains you or what changes those moods. And if you already know what causes you to feel bad, why are you doing it? Why don't you stop doing it? If you know what causes you to worry, stop doing that. Stop, producing the atmosphere for it, the habit. A lot of things that we do, and when it comes to emotions and feelings, especially when we do them ourselves, it's out of habit. It's out of habit. So get yourself familiar with why you feel what you feel, and what are you going to do about it. Not and one of the things cannot ever be, I'm gonna hide it, I'm gonna bury it, I'm gonna ignore it. Ignoring is a no-no, burying it is a no-no, and pretending in a way too is a no-no. When you have a feeling and it's the one that is uncomfortable for you, you need to go on a scavenger hunt to find out why, fix it, and change it. Whatever it takes, change it. If you need help with that, hey, give me a shout. I love a scavenger hunt. And I love to see smiles, and I love to see you doing positive things with your life and your energy and your feelings. So give me a shout. I'll help you with that. So one of the things that I do as a coach, focus on what you want. Focus on what you want. That's something that's very helpful to all of our feelings. When we have a feeling that it's not something that we want, it's usually because we focus on what we don't want. We might have it, we don't want it. So once we discover that, focus on what you want. If you focus on what you want, not what you don't have, but what you want, and you set that goal for it, then you have something that you can positively move toward. But if you're just looking at what you don't have and all the reasons that you don't have it and moaning and groaning because you don't have it, then your stomach's going to get tighter and tighter and your teeth are going to get clenched and tighter. Yeah. So focus on the things that you want. Focus on on your goals and what you're going for, rather than what you don't got. Okay. And again, deal with negative feelings. Rejoice and have fun and be happy with those good feelings. But if you got some negative feelings going on or some feelings that are making you feel bad, work on them. Work on them and promise me that you will. All right? All right? I think I'm going to stop for tonight because it's new moon night. I'm going to talk about mental. We're going to talk about mental energy and your spiritual energy next week. And we're also going to talk a little bit about, I'm going to give you some ways that you can actually talk a little bit more about how you can protect both your mental, because protecting mental and emotional energy can be tricky sometimes, and spiritual energy. Those can be kind of tricky. So I'm going to give you some quick little helpful hints that you can use to protect and kind of keep a watch out, kind of a little watch out for your mental, your thinking, those trains of thought, and you get caught up in a train of thinking and obsessive thinking, worrying, and it's those kind of things. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. We're going to talk about that next week. And we're also going to talk about your spiritual energy. And remember that the mental energy involves your thought process, your memories, your imagination, your dreams. I shouldn't say dreams. Your thoughts, your memories, your decisions, the decisions that you make, your thought processes, and all those. We're going to talk about the mental and your spiritual next week. That's all I'm going to do tonight. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. It was good to see Miss Norma and Greg and Caron, and good to see you guys. Kind of give me a shout out. I hope to see you next week. I may be traveling, but if I am, I'll probably go on and record it, and we'll post it on the Facebook page if I'm not going to be here in person. But next week, just plan on listening, hearing out. We're going to kind of go back and review what we talked about a little bit today and kind of bring us up to date. But we're going to focus in on our spiritual and our mental energy next week. Again, thanks for being with me tonight, and I will see you guys next week. Until then, manifest best, and remember, you are energy. Everything is energy, and there's absolutely nothing else. I mean, that's all there is. All there is to it. You're all energy. Manifest best, live well, and manifest best. God loves you, and I do too. You guys take care, and I'll see you next week. Good night.